Where is Dunban? The case of finding Dunban with Shulkinto continues. Last time he was sighted in a military vehicle in Wales. He and his crew Shulk, Flander, Breloom, and Jellicent were heading to Getsis house to arrest him for kidnapping Ash and the Hone Council in the case of the missing six. Dunban and the other three are considered missing as well, to which the former and the latter were still held hostage. He and his crew arrived and found him not at his house, but at one of the many underground tunnels that the Pokémon had made themselves. They followed the path that Dunban's trail took, but ended in a dead end, though they were able to take some footage of the surroundings. I think it's this way, Dunban, Shulk excitedly proclaimed. Let's see if we can find anything. As he looked around, the Pokémon who was with him stopped to watch the video Shulk was playing on his Pokédex. The footage was of the military in a building in Dunban's house while he was in the bathroom. Dunban was seen standing in the middle of the room in a military uniform talking to a black figure. The Pokémon on the footage was identified as Getsis, a former Pokémon professor of Team Plasma and the leader of the organization. He had given Dunban the order to take over Sinnoh and its cities, and the military that was sent out to arrest him, the Grims, were his troops. It was also then that Getsis took his position as the next ruler of Sinnoh and started working with Team Plasma. Shulk excitedly informed them. He's in the bathroom, he needs the toilet, we all go in and surprise him. The group hurried to where Dunban was. The room was in a complete mess, as there was a military personnel on guard at the door. However, he wasn't seen on the footage, so there was a possibility that he had escaped. As the team tried to get into the room, a small cry for help reached their ears. Please, we need your help. One of the officers went in to help Dunban, but he was taken into custody. He was brought to the Pokémon Center, but Dunban was already gone. However, he was taken into custody by the military and sent to the Pokémon Center. This footage is being uploaded in 2 hours. Please make sure to watch it. Shulk sent the footage to the Sinnoh Pokémon's central hub and requested that everyone watch it. Meanwhile, Ash and his friends got into the elevator at the Pokémon Center, but they stopped at the second floor. Flander and Breloom started looking for clues to Dunban's whereabouts. At the very top floor, they found the room where he was being held. Dunban was there, but he was being guarded by another man in a military uniform who was taking a nap. What is going on? A voice from a video screen said. He was shown on the screen to be Getsis, along with his troops. You know why I am here, Dunban. And you know you are now under my orders. Let's see how you like it. He was shown walking off to the top of a building, along with 2 other military men. Meanwhile, Ash and the others continued with their search for Dunban, and Shulk decided to call a meeting. Okay, we've got no leads for Dunban, and we've got to know where he is. Let's have a meeting. They gathered in the same room, with the screen now showing the image of Getsis. We all know why you've been fighting me, Dunban. It's all about power. Power over people. Power over Pokémon. Listen to me, Dunban. You're going to give up your power for people. But I can't make that deal, and it's really not that hard to see that. The screen was then focused on Ash and Pikachu, and the latter was taking a break. How does it feel knowing you've hurt so many people, Ash? I've seen it with my own eyes. Many people are deeply hurt. As Shulk was showing the footage on his Pokédex to Ash, he was getting scared and looked at the screen. Suddenly, he got a warning telling him to stay away from the footage. The screen was showing Getsis standing on top of a building, surrounded by his army. The next shot on the screen was Ash's mother, lying dead on the floor. Then, the video showed a number of Sinnoh's citizens as they stared out of their windows, crying for their parents. The final shot on the video was Ash himself, in a room, crying. Ash started running out of the room. Shulk and the others tried to keep up with him, but they eventually lost Ash. Where's he gone? Shulk said. The screen showed the roof of a building, where Ash was screaming for help. Shulk, Flander, and Breloom all ran up there, and Ash was surrounded by the security guards. As the guards came closer to Ash, his face became distorted, and he started making weird noises, along with crawling through the wall of the room. Flander, Breloom, and Shulk were able to tackle Ash to the floor, as Shulk started yelling at the guards. One guard was about to taser Ash, but Shulk used Monado Shield to protect Ash. You've gotta pay attention, Ash. The games aren't over yet. The guard dropped the taser and looked at the group. Shulk's expression turned to relief, as did Breloom and Flander. Thanks for showing me the footage, Shulk. It makes me realize how dangerous this all was. Well, I'm glad you all could help, Ash Getsis replied, and he started to walk out. Getsis, Dunban, and the soldiers were in a building that was very old. The guards didn't seem to be very talented, and they could barely control the enemy. One of the soldiers came in with a gun, pointing it at Dunban. I've never seen you here before. Dunban, you see why. Don't try my patience, man, Dunban said, and he moved closer to the soldier. The soldier then attacked. It was Sephiroth. How foolish you are, Sephiroth. To betray the great and powerful Getsis, and to make fools of you and Ash Ketchum. Sephiroth said, hey, if you wanted to make fools of me, then why not just bring down the building from the top? Sephiroth said, and he used an ancient battle technique to knock down one of the building's pillars. I know you are up to something, Sephiroth. That battle with Ash was so you could use it against me, Getsis said, and he activated an ancient technique known as Hyper Voice. All of the walls around the group started to glow a bright red, and each pillar on the outside of the room lit up too. If we win, we rule Sinnoh. And if we don't, we get our memories erased, Getsis said. Sephiroth in battle with Shulk and Flander, you cannot defeat me, Sephiroth yelled. As they were watching Ash's final battle, Shulk got tired, and Flander and Breloom stopped battling Ash, and they started running out of the room. The room started to shake, and the pillars lit up in bright white. Suddenly, the floor started to shift, and it began to lift up. What's happening? Shulk asked. We've been waiting for you, Shulk replied, and he jumped out of the way as a beam of energy shot out of the hole, which led to a huge machine with wheels, on which a huge machine was attached. Suddenly, Ash fell through the hole, and landed on the wheel of the machine, and he looked up at it. This isn't good, Ash said, and he crawled to the top. Ash looked at the buttons, and realized that it was an elevator. Okay, I'll get in the elevator, he said. Shulk and Flander walked to the back of the elevator. Flander started to get all excited. So what are you going to do, Shulk? She asked. I'm going to get you to the top of this machine, and then I'm going to send you to meet Evel Sabao, she exclaimed, and she looked at the elevator. So then I will go to the top and send you home, Shulk said, and he started pressing buttons, and the elevator started to lift up. Suddenly, the elevator dropped, but instead of it dropping down, it stopped. Shulk looked over at Flander, who looked back. Flander, Shulk is helping Ash. You've got to stop it. I will not stop it. How do you know he's not lying? He could be tricking us, Flander said, as she looked at Shulk. Shulk looked back and saw that the elevator had stopped. Shulk looked at Flander, and he smiled. He jumped up and tried to push the button to send it down. Suddenly, Ash got into the elevator, and he closed the door. The elevator stopped. Flander, stop it, Ash said, as he started to break the button. No, I can't let him do this to our friendship, Flander said, and she started to cry. Flander, think, Shulk said, and he grabbed her hand, and he started to pull her. Shulk, don't, Flander said, as he pulled her.
Mortals,
Evel Sabao said, his 6 arms grasping at the ground, with his black eyes.
I have been waiting for you all to take a chance on me. Now that you have, I will erase all of your memories, and you will forget the power of my ability, Return Energy. If you do not, you will be permanently trapped here forever, where the remnants of your strength will be crushed by the will of me,
Evel Sabao said, as he reached for them. Ash, Flander, and Shulk all looked down as he got closer to them.
Ash, Flander, the power you are seeking is not mine.
I cannot take it, and I do not need it. You will be lost forever if you take it, but if you do not, you will all be broken down by the will of Ivalsabao, and you will all be trapped in this darkness forever. Ivalsabao said, as he was inches from Ash's face. Shulk slowly started to put her hand on Flander, and she looked at Ash. Shulk looked back at Ivalsabao as he got closer to Ash.
If you choose not to take it, I will kill your friend.
Ivalsabao said, and Ash's eyes became full of rage. Ash, make your choice, Shulk said, as he looked at Flander, and she looked back at Shulk. I will take the power from you, but I will not kill Flander, Ash yelled as he took his hands off the elevator, and Ivalsabao started to laugh.
You fools! You think that you can defeat me and that I cannot change you. When your power becomes stronger and your heart becomes weaker, you cannot win. Your weak heart will be crushed.